So let's do an example. So we're going to try this one. We know the measure of angle A is 50 degrees. C is 4. A is 9. And I'm asked to find the measure of angle C. Okay. So it's not asking me how many solutions there are, but I could figure that out if I wanted to. Instead of having A and B right now, notice that I have A and A and then I have C. So I could say A is 9 and then I could do 4 sine of 50, right? So that's A is equal to B sine, or it's a question mark. I don't know if they're equal to the angle. So 4 sine 50. So I get 9 is equal to 3.06. So if I go back to my paper, A, okay, this is greater than, it's what ends up being, right? So this means that there's going to be one solution. But what if I don't have that paper in front of me? All right, so I didn't write this down. This is angle A. Sorry about that. I have angle A inside A. So I'm going to do the law of sines, sine A over A, and then sine of angle C over lowercase c. Plug in what I know. Sine of 50 degrees divided by 9 equals sine of some unknown angle C over 4. Now, because I'm doing law of sines and I'm doing off work, this to me is easy enough that I don't have to draw my chart. But if you wanted to draw your chart so that you have that, if that's easier for you to pay attention to see what's going on, or if you're going to solve a triangle, you definitely want to fill this in, okay? Because if you're solving a triangle, your teacher's going to want it organized in some way. All right, cross multiply. We'll have 9 sine of C is equal to 4 sine of 50. Divide both sides by 9. Sine of C is equal to. Now, this is something that you have to be careful for because if you, this isn't what I wanted to write. Well, it is. Okay, that's fine. Sine of C is equal to 4 sine of 50 divided by 9. If you plug this into the calculator and hit enter and you're trying to work backwards from there, you may get an error. So you may want to simplify this into actual numbers. But otherwise, what we're going to do is say C is equal to sine negative 1. So 4 sine of 50, and I would close that parentheses and then do my divide so that we don't mess up with the order of operations. So second sine gives me the negative 1, 4 sine 50, close my parentheses, divided by 9, and I got C is equal to 19.9 degrees. So that was just using the regular old law of sines. Okay. So I got that the measure of angle C is 19.9. But what if I didn't figure out how many solutions there would be? So I would take this number. What you're going to do is subtract that from 180. Okay, so 180 minus 19.9 is 160.1 degrees. Now I'm going to go back to my original setup, okay? So my answer was 19.9, but let's go back to here. A was 50, A was 9, C was 4. All right, so the first solution, 19.9, if I plug that in here, I still have room for something to be angle B. Okay, it's still room there because I'm not over 180 degrees. But if I try to plug this 160, so A was 50, B is, I don't know, and C is 160.1, is there any space left for B to even exist? If I take 160.1, and I add that to the angle I was given, now I'm at 210 degrees, 0.1. And that's too big to fit into a triangle. So this is not a valid solution. That's the part that went through when we said there's only one. I tried it. It doesn't make sense. It can't work. Okay. So rather than going through this process, you can just do the work and see what happens. So let's try another one. Let's do measure of angle C is 73, C is 8, A is 17. Find the measure of angle B. All right, so let's make our table. A, B, C, A, B, C. Measure of angle C is 73 degrees. Side C is 8. Side A is 17. And I'm trying to find measure of angle B. Well, I can't really do that because I don't have matched pair. I mean, I have the matched pair of C, but I have missing pieces. What I'm going to do is problem solve. I have to solve for A first, because then I can do 180 minus A equal to angle B, right? So you sort of have to use a little puzzle game, figure out what's working. So we're going to say sine of 73 degrees divided by 8 is equal to sine of A divided by 17. So I cross multiply and divide. I'm going to get sine of A is equal to 17 sine 73 divided by 8. So sine inverse, close that parentheses, divided by 8 is going to equal angle A. So second sine 17 sine 73, close the parentheses, divide by 8. Oop, what happened? It tells me I got a domain error. Well, let's see if we did something wrong in this calculator. Okay, let's just simplify this numerator and the denominator. So 17 73. Okay, so sine negative 1 of 16.2572, dividing that by 8. So divided by 8 gives me sine inverse 2.03. Sine second. And then I'm going to hit second. And then this answer down here, just pull that number in. That domain error. Well, okay, fine. Sine negative 1, 2.03. Still got a domain error. So what does that mean? What does that mean? I didn't mess up on the calculator because I got the answer multiple times. And what it's telling you is that this doesn't exist. Remember that sine goes from -1 to +1. And what you're asking it for is, tell me which angle I find a sine value of 2.3. Well, it doesn't exist. Okay, so the answer to this problem is there is no solution. Okay, measure of angle B, there's no solution. It doesn't exist. This triangle is not possible based on these measurements. Okay, the side is not long enough. So I couldn't even find this angle for A given what I've got. I didn't even get to the point of finding angle B. Okay, so when you end up and you're solving for an angle and what you have inside is more than 1 or less than -1, you're going to get this domain error and then no solution. I'll start another video with some more examples.